Let me get to my place and get my glasses. Hello. Today I'm wearing my Dr. Zeus sweater, which says I'm also a doctor. I was a fan of Dr. Seuss and all his stories. Well, my friends, this has been a couple of lousy weeks as far as my health is concerned. Uh, it started out like it seemed like a bunch of symptoms of my uh, arthritis and this pain syndrome. But then after a while, it turned into something weird, which manifested itself with inability to go to the bathroom in all aspects. Uh, it was painful. It was embarrassing. Uh, I just couldn't take hold of, of my bodily functions. Uh, so just one morning, I told my daughter-in-law, Nuni, I don't want to commit suicide. That's not the idea. But I just don't want to live. I can't take it any longer. So I think I mentioned in the previous video that I had withheld a lot of information. So that day I was taken to for a consultation at the hospital, and the physician left me right there. He says, "No, you can't go home. There's something really bad going on." And after all the labs and all that happened, that my white blood cell count was up at 20,000, which is one doctor mentioned, thank God it didn't go to the blood. It was way out of normal, and I was feeling just really feeling that it was time to take off to the family's asteroid. Well, I stayed in the hospital 2 nights, and one day I had a CAT scan, and I don't know what else. And it was determined, because there was a suspicion that perhaps there was some sort of obstruction in the, perhaps in the colon or the intestines. But there was no such thing. The contrast liquid went through perfectly well. So what was discovered was that, and this is important for you young men, the prostate is not within the rectum, as many people think. No, that is not so. The prostate is on the other side. It's outside of the rectum. But it can swell in such a way that it will push against the intestine, and it will block anything coming out of the intestine. In addition to that, it may also block the urethra, so your urinary functions may be blocked. So this was happening to me for quite a few weeks, and I wasn't aware of nothing more than not being able to perform my bodily functions, and it was hell. So, well, Now I'm receiving a very large dose of antibiotics, uh, the right ones. Apparently, what I was given before was not working, but a lab was supposed to cultivate some of the specimens, and it wasn't done, so it was just, okay, take this, that usually works, but it wasn't working for this particular bacteria. Now I'm having the right antibiotic, which is given to me once a day here at home via IV. That takes about an hour, and it's gonna go for 10 days. After that, if everything develops normally, it's uh, bowel movements and all that has not been restored completely yet. Uh, and I've got a cat on, which is well, I used to cats. That doesn't bother me. And so, in perhaps a couple of weeks, and after all this ameliorates, I have to check with all my other physicians and get a report for my next surgery, which will be an RTU. We won't remove the prostate. That's not apparently not done any longer. It used to be customary here in Panama, but they just, I didn't know that once they did an RTU and they took off all the excess growth, it could grow back on, and it did, plus with an abscess and an infection. So anyway, I have to go back to the great light room and have another surgery. Surgeries really don't scare me, that's the truth. But we have to talk about a little bit about COVID. And it, it really bothers me when I read or I listen in the news on TV, things that make me suspect that something is not very clean in all this process of protecting us. For example, here in Panama, for my short stay at the hospital, 3 days, for me to be admitted, I had to go and get one of this test, where they put the stick up your nose, and okay, that costs close to $200 just to go in it. And I have been vaccinated. I've had that test done before. Doesn't matter. You start from zero. You go in. In my case, I needed to have someone accompanying me because I needed more care than what the hospital staff could give it. So my sons had each to go through the same process. So they had to pay, in other words, to take care of me. And this is business. I mean, this is bad business. I mean, it's okay. We are in very dire economic situations, but you can't try to get extra money, extort extra money from people just to help them to keep healthy. That really bothered me. Then here in Panama, okay, Panama has a boom of people wanting to be vaccinated. In fact, last week, more than 300 kids, young people and kids, got vaccinated for free, of course. Uh, because, well, the government had bought quite a few of the Pfizer vaccines, and AstraZeneca had also given quite a few, and we had enough. And the concept of politics within vaccination does not exist here. You know, people know that this is a very, very grave illness, and the vaccination is important. But we're only 4 million people, and I'm sure that we have bought more than necessary to uh, vaccinate the whole, population of Panama with both rounds of vaccines. I ask myself, how was that? How did it work? How the government is supposed to have a budget. Uh, it's now Pfizer is trying to convince the U.S. government that a third booster shot or booster shot number 3 is needed. It seems to me that it's just a matter of money. They're trying to make more money, and the same thing would go over here if all of a sudden we start playing along with this booster shot thing. I don't know if it's needed or not, but so far, what I've read is that the effectiveness of the vaccine in protecting us from getting the infection is 97%. No matter whether you got one shot or 2 shots, or how long was it in between the first and the second. Something smells fishy here. And, well, Panama's right alongside the coast, so it should smell fishy. But some other places are not. Okay, my friends, this is a subject that bothers me. I usually don't get into anything that may sound like politics or criticizing the government or any of this stuff. But you know, it's I can't keep my mouth quiet. No, because some things are so obvious. We just don't talk about them, but they're very obvious. And corruption has been rampant in Panama. You all know that. So I wouldn't be surprised if something new comes up. And here in Panama, any chance there can be caught to do something corrupt is taken care of. Okay. Well, I hope I get a little better. It's early in the morning, very early. As you see, I'm just having breakfast. And my birds are a little upset too because they're not singing loudly like they usually do. So they seem to agree with me. So please do become vaccinated. Vaccination is important. Don't let politicians mislead you. Vaccinations are important. Bye-bye. Let me get up and turn this thing off.